I never imagined a simple text message could change my life. But that day it did. My phone buzzed, and when I looked down, everything stopped. It was from my wife, Emily. Usually her messages were harmless. A reminder about groceries, a see you soon, maybe a heart emoji. But this one was different. It was short, almost casual, yet it hit like a hammer. I'm at his place. Just so you know. I just stared at the screen, frozen. Her ex's name flashed in my mind. A man I'd tolerated for too long. And suddenly, all those late-night work calls, the distant behavior, the random changes in plans, they made sense. Anger hit first, then confusion, then silence. Because I realized she wanted a reaction. Panic. Rage. A desperate call asking why. But I wasn't giving her that satisfaction. I took a deep breath, typed my reply, and hit send. Enjoy it. You're his problem now. That was it. No anger. No drama. No begging. Just truth. Simple, final, and clear. I set my phone down and sat in the quiet. The air felt heavier. Like the silence itself knew what had just happened. Memories of our life together flashed through my mind. The late nights spent talking about dreams. The sacrifices I'd made without complaint. The trust one thought was unbreakable. And now all of it undone by one message. But instead of breaking down, I found something else. Clarity. That night I didn't call her. I didn't chase her. I didn't scroll through our old pictures or replay old words. I just let it be. Because for the first time I saw the truth that sometimes the calmest response is the most powerful one. Over the next few hours I did what I needed to do. I went for a long run. I called a few friends, laughed about normal things. And when I came home I sat in silence again. But this time it didn't feel empty. Felt free. That text I'd sent wasn't meant to hurt her. It was a line in the sand. A way of saying, I'm done being pulled into your chaos. The next morning I woke up with a new kind of focus. Emily had spent the night at her ex's place. I didn't need to know the details. All I needed to know was this: my time of being manipulated was over. I got dressed. Went to work. Smiled when I needed to. Focused when it mattered. And for the first time in months I felt like myself again. As the hours passed I realized something. Betrayal doesn't just destroy, it teaches. It forces you to see what you've been ignoring. It reminds you of your worth. Later that day, Emily came home. I was sitting at the table, calm, composed. She looked at me, waiting for me to explode, to beg, to ask questions. But I didn't. I just looked at her and said nothing. The silence between us said everything. That silence told her, you made your choice. I'm making mine. From that day on I set boundaries. I stopped answering her texts right away. I stopped letting her pull me into emotional games. If she wanted attention, she could find it elsewhere because I wasn't giving it anymore. Every sarcastic remark she threw, every attempt to guilt me, I met with calm indifference. It drove her crazy because control only works when you react to it. I focused on myself, on my health, my work, my peace. The betrayal that was meant to break me became the reason I rebuilt myself. Days turned into weeks. She tried everything: apologies, excuses, tears. But I had already learned the most important lesson of my life. You don't win by arguing with betrayal. You win by refusing to participate in it. My response: enjoy it. You're his problem now. Wasn't just a message. It was a declaration. That I was done being the victim. That I was reclaiming my dignity, my boundaries, and my control. And as I moved forward, something incredible happened. I started to feel alive again. The pain faded, replaced by pride. Not pride in what had happened, but in how I handled it. Because real strength doesn't come from revenge. It comes from restraint. From calm. From refusing to let someone else's choices define your peace. In time, Emily saw it too. Her attempts at reconciliation became quieter, almost hesitant. And for the first time, she understood what she'd lost. Not a man who would fight for her, but a man who refused to fight over her. Looking back, that one short message, I'm at his place, could have destroyed me, but instead it became my turning point. Because sometimes it takes the cruelest truth to remind you who you are. She chose betrayal. I chose freedom. And in the end, that made all the difference.